Good morning, everybody. So this is one of the ones that you'll want to save. It's a, work along with Ashley video. And I really like this combination because it builds in the therapeutic effects of FasciaBlasting right with your weight training. I also am going to be working mostly in Robot and Cheetah. If you don't know what I'm talking about, go watch last week's Sunday Night Live feed with Olivia, because everything that I do is going to not jack up my fascia, and I'm going to try to hit every muscle in the body. So imagine this may be a little bit longer of a feed, but I think just even watching 15 minutes of this, you'll totally get the idea. So the first thing I want to start with is anytime that you already feel your body tugging at you when you do the wall test, you want to go ahead and either blast or cup or both or stretch, whatever you need to do to get out of that. So what you'll see on me is that yesterday I went for a very long walk on the beach, which, by the way, is still challenging for me. So I'm starting actually off my routine today with releasing the tension from the IT band as well as down by the shin. So I'm just going to do a super quick blast with the Master Blaster. I'm going to do all of this in the mirror, and I think that's good because you guys can see front and back. So I'm going to move into just a light IT band, and again, I'm going to go back and hit this as part of my FasciaBlasting. This is just to prep my body for this workout so that I'm not out of alignment, okay? So anything that you have tugging at you, tight shoulders, tight low back, go ahead and fix that, because when you set up to do your weights, you don't want that pulling on you, and that's what was happening to me. I was getting a pull all the way from the ankle up, and this is my hip replacement size. Okay. All right, so going down. Anybody, when you guys do this, do you get the nervy feeling? I'm getting that little which tells me the fascia of my ankles did not appreciate the loose sand yesterday. All right, and you'll just want to do that until you've actually released the tension, going back and checking wall test. So just that little bit of cupping, it was only on for 2 or 3 minutes, got me completely ready to go ahead and do my workout. So if you're wondering if I am warm, yes, I am. I am fortunate enough that I'm living in my vacation home down here in Costa Rica. It's an abnormally hot week. It was about 100 degrees yesterday. So even in the morning when I do my devotional and drink my tonics and all that, I do it outside. I get a little sun, say good morning to the world, and also I'm already in a sweat. So we're gonna jump right in with upper body. And again, people are always like, I run out of oil. You'll not run out of oil if you'll do this sweaty. Okay, so I'm gonna prep my delts, and then that's gonna be the first thing that I'm gonna work. So I'm gonna use the paddle blaster. There's all kinds of different techniques. It was really enlightening to watch Julie Chelberg's show the other day and see what they use to prep. But to me, the paddle blaster just gets everything so quickly. And I'm gonna go ahead and include the forearms because, the fascia of our delts is connected to our forearms. I'll try to turn around too and answer questions, but just know that this is my actual workout for the day. And I'm just gonna do it in with you guys. Okay, prepping the other one. Again, if you notice, that was like 30 seconds. I'm already red. Yay, paddle blaster. Definitely one of my better inventions. And I do think we have about 1,500 left. So if anyone wants one, go get one, because we will not get more of these until the summer. All right. Thoroughly prepped here with the small clawed blaster. Now, if you don't have the paddle blaster, you can certainly do this with any small clawed tool, your master blaster or your face. Cindy Todd says, hey Ash, is there a place we can view all your videos? Yes, I will post it in the comments, but we are keeping a rolling document. And also, if you're talking about just the live feeds for this page, they're saved chronologically, okay? So anything that you want to see, it goes right in order. That's why we didn't do this in the group. All right. So, I have prepped my anterior medial and posterior delt. So the first thing that I'm gonna do is line myself up like the wall test. Again, me and Olivia talked about this in New Year, New You. The placement of the foot is very important. Pulling the transverse abs is very important. And I'm gonna just start with a side delt raise. Now, if you're looking at me and saying, my gosh, Ashley, you have big shoulders, why are you only using 5 pounds? And the answer is because when you use proper form and do not leverage your traps, and I'm fighting the temptation to lift the ribs, this is enough weight, okay? So people always wanted me to prescribe them, you know, how many reps and sets and everything else. So I am only doing 2 sets, and I'm going to my fatigue. So most likely it's gonna be around 15 reps. Okay, I'm not actually trying to make my shoulders bigger. I'm just trying to hang on to muscle while I'm calorie depleted and losing the fat, okay? All right, and then when I do anterior delt, this is the exercise, but I tend to get into my thoracic spine, so I'm gonna simply alternate. Now, the key on an anterior delt raise is that you don't wanna come out with your arm like that. You've got to externally rotate the shoulders, put them in the socket, and keep them there with scapular depression and transverse abs. And where you should feel this is right here, okay? And I actually do feel this more doing just that little tiny bit of blasting. It's always an exhale. And even though I'm making it look smooth and easy, literally I'm seeing the beads of sweat start to pop through my shirt. I most certainly feel it. And again, don't get obsessed with a number. It's really not important if you're just trying to keep your muscles firing. Now, if you were looked at your body and said, I need my shoulders bigger, then that's a different story. That's where you want to do a lot of sets and lower repetitions. Okay, this is just a blast and activate session, full body. Great for cardio as well. Okay, really feeling that. Now we're gonna move into posterior delt. The hard part on this, let me see if I can you guys see my back? The hard part on this is most people come up and they use trap and rhomboid. You have to literally externally rotate the shoulders, scapular depress, and then only use the back of the shoulder. And 5 pounds is a good amount of weight if you're isolating that posterior delt. Keeping your head in line with the spine, keeping a correct spine, not cheating by squeezing feet or anything else. We are doing isolated work today. Whole body. Good. All right, if anybody did that with me, I want you to look. The sweat is coming. In fact, I'm gonna put on my, before I get too sweaty, I'm gonna put on my heart rate monitor because I want you guys to see that moving slowly like this and not doing a high intensity workout is also really great to mix in as part of your program. Okay, so give me 2 seconds. Okay, All right, so remember I prepped with the small clawed tool. And then after I do the exercise, I'm gonna do the large claw tool for the recovery aspect. I tell you what, anything that has to be charged is just not my friend. I need the things that run on solar. Sheila Sunderland Littman LMT says, where do I find the Fascia Blaster? I mean the Paddle Blaster. You can get it at www.FasciaBlaster.com. I think it's actually the featured product this week, but it's right there in the shop. Okay, so finished up delts. So I want to go back with my mini 2, and now I want to be a little more vigorous, okay? So we've prepped the muscle, we fired the muscle, and now we're going to recover the muscle, okay? And yes, I have been doing this for a very long time, and yes, I do go kind of hard. But my body can take it, I'm not going to bruise, and it actually feels awesome. And little by little, I'm breaking up these beyond bound shoulders, okay? So that was what, 15 seconds? I don't know, somebody can go back and time me. I just go intuitively, and I encourage you to do the same. All right. Okay, my girls, we are moving into biceps. So switching to the small claw tool, I like the Master Blaster for this. Biceps are actually small, so you can prep them really, really quickly. Now, for those of you who've been following me, this is actually an area of focus for me because my shoulders were so forward that now that I've opened them up, this part of my bicep wasn't even firing. So sometimes, you know, when we see a saggy skin or something that looks like cellulite on the arms, it could actually just be a little bit of crappy fascia and some muscle atrophy underneath. That's why the activation is so important. So anyone who's been asking about how to include the activation, you can do it right with your blasting session. Okay, so prep the tissue, grabbing my 10-pound weights. Be careful if you got oil on your hands. Going back to wall test, again, we're incorporating all these different components. We're just gonna start with the bicep curl. Now, I personally, if you notice, I'm working in external rotation on purpose because I'm trying to hit the medial head of the bicep because that was the one that was basically asleep, okay? With breath, ribs anchored. I actually just saw myself cheating with my foot. Really, really, you'll feel the burn quickly when you prep it. And sometimes I like to do descending weights. That was hard and I felt it, but I want just a little bit more, so I'm gonna go back and just pump it, loose grip, so that you're not leveraging fascia, pulling the ribs down, chin tucking, scapular depressing, till I really feel the part I wanna work, which I do. And I'm gonna give it a little bit of even more external rotation. Woo. And release. Then we're gonna go back with the bigger claw tool of your choice and just hit that for moving out the last lactic acid of the muscles. And that's really all it takes. Look at that nice red bicep. Don't even have to re-oil. I'm not using a lot of oil because I don't need it with the sweat, okay? Lori Sheets is asking about pit tit. I'm the worst one to ask about pit tit because you know I struggle with that. It's gonna be hard to show it without taking my top off, but I would do, you know, through and above the chest with some chest flies And then I would also come through and do lats, okay? All right, done with the biceps. Moving on to the triceps. Now, all of you out there who are like going like this and telling me how you have jiggle, the skin of the arm goes all the way around, okay? So if you don't want to sag here, you got to build here, here, and here, okay? So don't be doing triceps eternally thinking that that's going to get rid of a bat wing, okay? The FasciaBlaster does a lot for that, but still have to tone that entire arm. You can always put emphasis on the tricep if you want. Hello, Rick Bradley. How are you? It's been a long time. Okay. So if you're just joining us, I'm prepping the tissue for a lift, and then I'm doing recovery afterwards. Using a small claw tool, this is the Master Blaster, hitting this tricep. Attachments, oof, what did I do on the computer yesterday? I love our blasters just as like a seek and destroy in terms of our fascia, because sometimes we just have no idea where something is hurting. I just got like a little zinger at my elbow. Okay, tricep, I'm gonna do a traditional kickback. I'm down with overhead. I'm down with dips. I just try to isolate when I'm doing this and keep it super, super simple. Laura Sheets says, fill in the loose skin by building muscle. That's right. You have to remember that, you know, if your body is bound together by fascia, including your fat, when you begin to finally release that, what do you think the skin's gonna do? It has nothing to fill it up and hold it up. So that's why we recommend activation. Okay, watching the form here. I also like this one little variation where I go back and then I internally and externally rotate, which just hits on the various heads of the tricep. There's a reason it's called the tricep. It's 3 parts. It's also more intense when you blast. I just have to tell you, I'm doing less reps than my normal workout. Oh, let me get down here where you guys can see. Remember, your resistance is coming from gravity, so you can't do this up here. You gotta get down. You gotta do your spine right. Okay, I'm done. Boy, I felt that. All right, little quick recovery. Quick recovery on this side. Robin Lawless says, yes, seek and destroy. Hey, Kelly. This is a good one for y'all's group. This is a blast and resistance training. And I'm just gonna check the heart rate because you guys, I'm barely moving, but I can tell you my heart rate's up and I'm sweating. Oh, come on. When I get oily, my screen doesn't want to work. I need a very low-tech heart rate monitor. Can somebody please send me one? Okay, move along, little doggy. Heart rate. Let's get it. If it tells me that I'm too sweaty, I'm going to throw it in the ocean. Okay, so if you're just joining us, we did already hit anterior, medial, and posterior delt, thighs and tris. And that's really the only muscles in the arm unless you're actually working your forearms. I blasted mine, remembering that the hands and the forearms are connected to the arms and delts and chest and back for that matter. 150 beats per minute. Nice fat burning, okay? All right, so I'm gonna try to not get a nip slip here and show you guys chest. Okay, the best prep tool ever is the paddle blaster because you can do it in about 15 seconds. So I'm going to prep the chest. And then I'm gonna come back and get the front of the shoulder. And whoever was asking about pit sit, you can get it just right here. I also think so much of pit sit, even with my big boobs, is not having the shoulder forward. Having that shoulder open and externally rotate really has helped with that. So sometimes things are postural, you guys, and not fascia or fat. So that's why I wanted to do this New Year, New You program, so you guys could start putting the pieces of the puzzle together and really architecting your programs for your goals. Okay, nice and prepped there. All right, this is a real simple way to do chest. I'm just gonna grab the ball, and I'm gonna grab my 5-pound weights. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna grab my 10-pound weights. Now, the key on this is to get your blasters out of the way. But in this one, your head is not supported. So if you need something, you can, put a poof or something behind your back. My neck is strong enough because I train this way. And you want to slide out and just use this as a weight bench. And we're going to do chest flies. That's it. Keeping the core engaged. Keeping the feet straight. Loose grip with the hands. And I'm going to do a superset of flies and then move into bench press. If this bothers your neck, you can slide that ball back. It's not sliding very well for me right now. Put your head on it, but then you're going to be working a little bit of glutes. Okay, just want to give you guys some options. Exhale as you go up. I don't even care if you do this on the floor. The whole point is that we're working chest. Listening to our bodies. Mine is actually asking for more flies. So I'm gonna go back and do that. That's a big part of the bicep tendon and the pec deck, which crosses the shoulder joint. Excellent, that got it. Okay, so again, I don't want you to be too, obsessed with how many reps and sets you do when you're doing this. This is more of a blast and activate, and you just want to go until you really feel it. And I felt it great there. All right, so if you're just joining us, I'm coming back in with the big claw tools for the recovery. Okay, love the ball for so many reasons. Me too. I'm going to show you guys some legs on it today. (162 beats per minute). Okay, everybody wants to burn fat, and how nice that you can do it so easily. Janine, the oils. Oh, you know what? I don't want to say. I just saw an email yesterday, but I'll answer you after the feed. Okay, so not only have I worked my chest, woo, it feels awesome to have that sucker open. All right, so I'm going to move into rhomboids, or we can just call it traps. These muscles are all connected. So I think I'm sweaty enough to not even use oil. So I'm gonna come across the back like this. We're using prep tools to fire up the nervous system. Then we're lifting, and then we are recovering and restoring. It's the perfect blend of everything except for stretching, which I could have put in, but I thought I might accidentally be here for 3 hours if I did. Okay, is it red? Feels red, feels good. All right, so let's talk about rhomboids. Rhomboids have two actions. They retract the scapula and they extend the thoracic spine. So we're always adding arms, but what I want you to do is Don't think about that. We're gonna isolate. So get your heavier of your weights. I'm only doing 5 and 10 pounds. And then try to watch carefully in the mirror because I'm just relaxing the arms, depressing the scapula, and then I'm going to retract the scapula and then extend the thoracic spine and release, okay? That is the true action of the rhomboid. Okay, so I'm gonna do these first to really make sure it's firing, and then I'll add alternating rows, okay? But make sure that you do both actions. Scapular retraction, thoracic extension, okay? And once you feel a good burn, you can move it into alternating rows, but just know that there is some bi, tri, and delt included in these. And I like to widen the stance and just add a little rotation. And if you're working on your mechanics, like what Olivia and I talked about on Sunday, then that particular exercise is multi-joint, multi-plane. So it's not the one you'd want to start with. You'd want to start with just the rhomboids the way I showed it the first time, okay? Here we go. Inside those shoulder blades. This one oops, where is it? I'm just awkward with my left hand down there. And then you can get it right across if you want. All right, upper body is feeling worked. It's feeling open. I don't know if you guys can see, lots of sweat. So I'm gonna go ahead, we're done with upper body. The only thing that we did not do was lats. And just to be totally honest with you, I can't do it without being naked, okay? So I'm gonna skip the blasting and I'm gonna show you how you can activate your scaps with nothing but the ball. Not your scaps, your lats, okay? So let's talk about the action of the lats. The action of the lats is shoulder extension from a flexed position. It is adduction, moving towards the midline. Abduction, speak Ashley. Abduction moving towards the midline. And a little bit of internal rotation. So let me show you how to do this on the ball. Making sure you hydrate the whole time, guys. I have to tell you that when you blast, when you lift, you really just don't get as sore. I'm one of those people that when I do a big lift, I'm sore for a couple of days. Okay, see the position of the ball? Now normally, you could do a cable pull down. I also have exercises on my ICE DVD, but if you just want something quick for activation, I'm keeping a wall test neutral spine, placing my hands on the ball, and performing the action of, you can see it right here, shaking, performing that first action of the lat. And again, I would normally prep and treat it afterwards, but I have to do it with my top off. I don't think AVG main page is ready for boobs just yet. And then you can take it around for the abducting, why am I losing my mind this one? Towards the midline, abducting. Okay, so you can go palm down or palm up, wherever you feel it more, neutral spine, and just pull that hand into the ball. And you see how my boob is kind of jumping up? It's because I'm activating the muscle underneath, okay? It looks easy, but it's not. And then the action is also internal rotation, so I'm going to pull it and rotate it. Start with the hand a little bit behind you so that when you internally rotate, it doesn't pop forward. Okay, that's for the tie-in of the lat. So it's a push and rotate. Really, really simple, you guys. Simple, simple activation here. And I most certainly feel it. I feel it as much as when I do cables and weights. The only reason I went down is because I wanted to get a little bit more of the ball. So if this hurts you, you can sit on a block. You can take your ball higher, or you can put it on the couch, okay? We're just gonna start with that abduction action of the lat. Again, the hand can be external or straight. I personally like external because that's what I'm working on, is firing those dead fibers from years of abusive shoulder posture. And then we're gonna add the internal rotation. I hope that you guys can see that. It looks like my hand is in frame, but what I'm doing is taking the hand like this and really feeling that deep tie-in. From a fascia standpoint, this is super important because this is the anchor for the functional line, which crisscrosses the back to the hips and assists in rotation, okay? Alrighty guys, and then again, this is my workout, so I feel like I want a little bit more lat activation, so I'm gonna hit it again here. The beauty of the ball too is you can incorporate fast twitch. Okay, I really feel that. All right, I feel it enough that I need to wipe myself off here. All right, let's move on to some legs. We can do a little butt too, and then I'll finish with core. I like to always end at the end. End with core at the end is what I'm trying to say. Okay, so we are going to work hamstrings. So I just need to clear my mat a little bit. Actually, not quite yet. And I'm gonna start with a double leg prep. 2 squirts of oil here. And I'm just gonna lay back, put my feet on the ball, and paddle blast the hamstrings. Is everybody good? They can see? I wish you guys could actually talk. It would make things easier. Okay. Does look like I'm in frame here. Okay, so just putting the legs up. Don't put your oil on the ball though. That is hard to undo. I'm just gonna simply work with the fibers. Cross fiber. Get that hamstring really good. Okay, again, we're doing 15 to 30 seconds here, you guys. Doesn't take much to wake up the nervous system. Right now, it's like, what? Are we gonna do something? It looks like you guys can see me in the mirror and also in the camera. I'm gonna tilt it down just a hair because I wanna make sure you get the position of this next exercise right. Okay. Hello, Molly Frazier. I was talking to you in another group this morning. Okay, guys. So the key to fire the hamstring and not the back is a posterior tilt. Okay? So you want to put your feet on the ball right where the lines go. Okay? We want to do railroad tracks all the way down. And then it's not about getting up here. Okay? That is your erector spinae. You want to pretend like you have a tail and you're going to pull your tail over your head. So I'm only about 2 inches off the floor and my hamstrings are already screaming, okay? So let me go down and explain one thing. We're going to take a breath, remembering that it comes up, and then drop the chest, drop the ribs, coil that tail up And then we go into the hamstring curl. Trying to pull the ball all the way to your butt. And exhaling and emphasizing the posterior tilt as you go. Most people pop up into this position and almost instantly cramp. It's very intense if you do it right. And again, I'm focused on using my abs to pull me into a posterior tilt to isolate the hamstring. Very good. And I love that we're already down. Grab your regular FasciaBlaster or any big claw, big daddy, and let's go back in and recover. And remember, we do want to push down into the muscle belly as long as we're not, too bound, because that's what we just worked. So I'm giving in a lot more pressure than I did with the paddle blaster. All right, let's move on to the adductors, okay? Everybody still good, still can see? Looks like we're doing pretty good. All right, I'm gonna use the paddle again for the prep. This right here is where I have a super deep adhesion. And I swear to you, as I'm losing weight, you can see this adhesion more and more. So by the end of the 12 weeks, I'm gonna make a point to try to get this adhesion off my bone. It's probably a leftover remnant from my hip surgeries and not basically being able to move for several years into adduction. Okay, quick little prep, nice and red. I did do the short and long adductors. Watch your posture when you're blasting, guys. You don't want to hump over like this. That's what we're trying to get rid of. I'm also working on the external rotation of my shoulders right now as I paddle blast. Okay. That whole inner thigh. Alrighty, guys. Now, when you've put oil onto your adductors, I suggest that you go back and wipe it down so that your ball doesn't get completely greasy, which just means we have to re-oil a little bit. Okay, so when we're working adductors, it's so hard to tell. Yeah, okay, I'm in frame. Set the ball on the ground. And the key with this is when you lie down, go ahead and not retract. Put the scapula flat on the floor. Externally rotate the shoulders. I want you to pretend like you're doing the wall test. Find completely neutral spine. And when you squeeze, don't change the position of the pelvis. So slip your fingers under there and make sure that you have 2 fingers. Also, make sure your feet are straight, because that neurological pattern recognizes every single motion that you do. It doesn't know that we're just working adductors. Okay, so when we're focused on alignment and basically not jacking up our fascia, we have to be aware of our whole entire body. Now this is as hard as you make it. I'm actually squeezing to maximum capacity as if I was doing 90 pounds or more on the abductor machine. I also like the fast twitch ones here. All right, awesome. Again, we're going to a training effect just to the point of burn and a teeny bit more. Okay, that gets our short adductors that wrap here. But for our long adductors, don't move those cups. We're going to want to straighten the legs. You're gonna rest them on the ball. Again, find that neutral spine. And then you're just gonna try to externally rotate and squeeze your legs together. You'll know if you're doing this right because it's not hip flexors. I'm actually resting my legs on the ball and then squeezing, and I feel it all the way down to my knees. Again, with breath, with mindfulness of the core and the neutral spine, squeezing. When you're about 80% to burn, if you want to incorporate the fast twitch, that's where you do it. Now, it does take quite a bit of neurological control, so make sure you're ready for that. Woo, see that shaking? That's what you want. All right, so we're gonna go back. I'm nice and sweaty, so one squirt should do it. Ooh, ooh. And I actually like to use the Mini 2 and the Mini 1 for this. But now I'm gonna go back and really try to move out any lactic acid that we just created. And also, you know, this is a restorative session for me. For those of you who are just popping in, this is a really good, like, follow along video. It's a super chill workout, but definitely getting the heart rate up. And if you're just trying to tone your overall body and restore it with FasciaBlasting, this is a good one. Anyone that's like, oh, I just don't know how to put it together, I don't have time, I don't have this and that, please share this video with him. This is a really good one just to see how easy it is to incorporate this. So we are going to move into our TFL, and I think I can show that without getting too naked. Just need the face blaster. Okay, chicas, TFLs. Part of the Heart Butt series. Prepping with the face blaster. And then we're just gonna isolate it out. If you really want a good butt day though, do the heart butt, okay? This is just a simple full body activation, cardio blasting session. This could be your full day blast. Okay, other side. This is my hip replacement side, if you guys have never seen that. It's crazy, look, I look like I got attacked by a shark. Actually proud of these scars now. All right. Remember, the prepping of the tissue with the small claws is to get that neurological firing going, and then we go in and recover. So I hope anybody with hip issues, hip replacement like me, I hope this is an inspiration for you, because my scars are completely flat and they're 17 years old, okay? We are not bound by our surgeries and or our other diagnoses that are handed down to us. There's so much we can do that's not related to that, okay? Christine says she got the book and she's ready. Let's go. Oh, Tiffany says she's glad she stuck around this morning. Whoop! It is recorded, so you can go back and watch it, but I'm glad you're doing it live. I went a little longer. It takes, I don't know if you guys can see the redness there, but it takes a little bit longer to get it to that big hunk of scar tissue. All right, TFLs can be done so many ways, you guys, but I like on these sort of like lazy workout days, I like to do as much as I can lying down. Okay, so for the TFL, the key on the TFL is to not fire the oblique. Most people, when they lift their leg, their shirt bunches up right here, okay? So make sure that the foot is hanging. We're not trying to be pretty, no pointed toe. You actually want that foot as a weight. And we're just gonna lift, and the only place I want you to feel it is here. Make sure you're railroad tracking. Make sure the ribs are down. Make sure the core is engaged always. And we're just gonna lift. I happen to have reasonably weak TFLs because of all the years of lack of range of motion. So it only takes about 15 to 20 reps for me. It's telling me I'm having a dynamic workout, 180 calories burned. I'll take it. Other side, hang the foot. This is my hip replacement side, and I'm literally firing the tissue right inside where I had my muscles cut out. So this one, I got a little range of motion. I can fake it, but I just used all of this. So keeping it low, trying not to get into that IT band, trying not to externally rotate. This one takes a lot of focus for me, and I don't get many reps. All right. Once you start going, you actually start looking forward to the recovery part. So I'm gonna hop back up, grab my Mini 2 or any big clawed tool, and just come right across that TFL. I have to tell you that if you sit all day, TFLs and glutes, when you sit on them, they can get bunched up. And then you start having weird cellulite looking stuff, you know, down below, but it's really the sitting posture. So TFL and top of the glutes, it's really important to release those so that the butt can actually drop and sit where it's supposed to. You heard the face blaster hit the ground. It did not break, but let me tell you, I've had one zing off a table before and 2 claws came off. So just like your coffee maker, don't drop the fascia blasters. They can break, particularly on this kind of tile floor. So, all right, back to the hip replacement scar. Gonna get that a little bit more attention. Love the Mini 2 for this. If you don't have the Mini 2, you're missing out on life. For this, QLs, glutes, just makes things super easy. So thank you to whoever out there started chopping up our first blasters. I definitely have like a little spot there that sometimes in pictures I catch that dent. Right there. You kind of see it in the sun. Anytime that you have a hard time firing your glutes, it's just gonna make it harder for that high leg cellulite because it is our muscles that hold our butts up and keep them from, you know, smushing down. Ophelia just says, blasters! All right, so if we think about what we've already done, we've literally hit the upper body. We've done all 3 delts. We've done chest. We've done rhomboids, bis, tris, and on the legs so far, we've hit the hamstrings and the TFLs and the inner thighs. So now we have got left on our lower body, we've got to do our quadriceps and our calves, okay? So I have to move the camera to do this, so I'm gonna go ahead and prep my calves as well as my quads, and then we'll go back and recover after that back in front of the mirror where you guys can see. So let's start paddle blaster, quadriceps. If y'all see, I'm only doing 2 squirts. I know I live in Costa Rica right now, and it's a huge blessing, and I'm super happy about it, but You can put a space heater in a small room and get the same effect, okay? Betty says calves are really sore. Betty, paddle blast. Get the blood to those things if they're really sore. Anytime you're really sore. Blasting is awesome. I mean, you have to remember it's a massage. So getting blood to that surface is always a good thing in terms of moving out that soreness. So is cupping, so is rubbing with your hands. Okay, quick little prep here. Go till it's red. Try to find your non-red spots. Also, if you guys can see, I'm getting up into the hip flexor. Super duper important. Just caught myself slumping over. Always focus on that back. I don't know what y'all are saying, but I see Sheila saying, that's right, be the movement. Absolutely, trust me. This is the medicine and people want to suppress it, but it's a whole lot easier than we've been making it. Food, fitness, and fun. Cure for everything. All right, calves. So I actually do like to do those sitting down. So just gonna run the paddle underneath. 1, 2, 3. If you are just tuning in, I do see people popping up. What I'm doing is a prep, a resistance training, and then a recovery. So it's a prep tool for the prep, small clog, then just a very simple resistance training with weights and the ball. And then we're gonna go back and do our recovery. Look, you can see where I cupped in the beginning. Yay, blood to my anterior tibialis. It's a good thing. Okay, since I am sweaty, gonna wipe up just a little. I wanna save some of that because once I sweat again, should be good. All right, I'm a little scared of getting nasty ball on my wall because I have been abusing my ball. Whoa. Okay, let me see if we can, yeah, awesome. All right, so I'm gonna be performing wall squats and calf raises, okay? I am cleaning my ball in the hopes that it does not do anything to my white wall over here. I swear, with the dust blowing through the doors off the beach, it is hard to keep them white. I don't know why I like white on white on white. All right, ball goes on the wall. We're gonna do these Smith's machine style, okay? So yes, there are other ways to do squats, but remember what we're doing. We're activating the quadriceps, okay? So straight feet for this and totally straight spine. I want you to pretend like you're a carousel horse. You're being harpooned through the back of your head and out your tailbone. And when you go down just like a carousel horse. You push through the knees and right back up, and that's it, okay? Usually squats are for many different muscle groups, but having the support of the ball almost makes us do basically a leg extension, okay? Takes lots of core. In fact, if you just grab a ball and do this, most likely it's gonna be all over the place, so you gotta really learn how to control that correct spine. Inhale down, brace, and push up. Sequencing, inhale, brace, fire at the knee, follow through with the quad. And you're not just dropping down, you're resisting down and contracting up. Okay, those of you who practice yoga root through your sacrum and through your heels, and then pull the energy up into the chakra and out the head, okay? And then if you really want to give it to yourself, y'all can see I'm already shaking. I'm also trying to cheat with my right foot. Just hover. And those of you who have the range of motion, you can go as low as you want. But believe you me, I just got my quads burned. Okay, for calves, pretend like you're doing the wall test. Keep your hands on the ball. Lean forward so that you're in dorsiflexion. Hang on. Let me aim down again. Gotta be able to see these feet. Okay. I actually am getting good dorsiflexion. So we lean over, we find neutral spine, and we just do calf raises. Making sure that the ankle is completely straight, core is engaged, breath as you lift. My calves are just starting to open, so I'm already at a burn. You may have to do, I don't know, 100 of those. But for me, with my new calf fibers, I felt that. All right, so we prepped them, we conditioned them, now we gotta go and blast them. Whoa. All right, let me just get us set back up again, my girls. I really have the world's worst tripod, but that's okay. They don't have a lot of tech down here. No Apple Store. Shoot. All right, I guess our tripod wants to be here. Okay. So, we're gonna come back with the quadriceps, with the blasting. This time I'm gonna go ahead and sit, because I wanna really get after them. Sweaty, but still need at least a squirt. All right, one of the things I really like when I lean out is to get this medial quadricep here, vastus medialis, and get that separation right there. And everybody loves the outer one, and I'm already getting that separation, which makes me super happy. So I'm going in on the quads. I also have chunks that were really deep that I didn't know I had, but now that my fascia is really open and I'm almost on the femur bone, I can feel it. So these are things that I need to go back and address with cupping and nuggeting, okay? All right, just a minute or so. I can tell you this, my legs never looked better in my whole life than when I was living in LA, doing basically the New Year, New You program. But I did a ton of blasting because that was right when I first invented it, in the sauna after the workouts. So I'm really looking forward to the beauty aspect of that. And instead of looking at the 47th birthday like, oh, I can only anticipate XYZ result, you know, I'm going into it like, damn, I can't wait to see what I look like when I'm 60. So I hope you guys are doing the New Year, New You program and not doing it for 12 weeks, but doing it to start to change your life. All right, let's go back and get these calves. I'm gonna hit it with the Mini 2. I feel like today's the Mini 2 showcase, but one-handing is awesome. I also just love it for the fact that I'm working on my shoulders. It's really easy to keep one shoulder in place while you do this. This is one of the places in my companion guide that when I poked, it's still bad, but not like it was. I think that my calves have just adhered down, and I think that contributes to ankle instability. So as much as I really like to just work on the beauty stuff, my hands and feet and my calves have got to get the attention. All right. Robin Lawless, by the way, you look great. Your legs and those leggings the other day, I was like, check her out. I'm seeing a lot of changes in you guys. Are y'all seeing some major changes? I see hearts. Does that mean yes? I'm really excited to do the check-in. Y'all know I cheated and did my pictures and my measurements. And it was really exciting. I mean, I literally have lost inches from everywhere and actually gained some inches in my calves and arms, which, hey, that means that I'm doing it in a healthy way. All right, that was actually feeling good. Sorry, I got carried away there. Okay, so guess what? I mean, we tend to think of leg day as really complicated, but we hit the quads, the long adductors, short adductors, we got the TFLs, and we got the calves. So the only thing left is the glutes. And again, well, we have the glutes and then we have the core. The glutes, I think I'm gonna skip. Not me personally, but I'm gonna skip it for the feet just because I like to get that booty naked and you know, we ain't ready for all that. So, enter heart butt, take 2. And let me show you how to do the low back, and then we'll do the abs. All right, so for low back, gonna use, I'm trying to decide if it's better, I think it's better to show you guys from behind. Paddle blaster rules, okay? So, can you see that? Just gonna fire up the erector spinae. Just so you know, guys, I get to my mid back with the paddle blaster, and I usually go a little bit lower. But we're gonna get here, and then I'm also gonna work a little bit into quadratus lumborum, or you know what we call love handles. If you guys noticed in the before and after picture that I posted just the other day, or just a couple of weeks in, this is one of the biggest areas that started to form shape. And some of it is the fat loss, but a lot of it is the blasting. You guys know you can really contour out your waist and your back with this. For one, it makes you longer. 2, you know, it's addressing the fat, and then it's releasing the pockets of fascia. Okay. All right, nice prep. And then we're just gonna go into back extensions on the ball. So the easier way, which is the way I'm gonna do it today, again, I'm just having kind of a chill, slow and steady wins the race. It's our mantra this week, okay? So knees are on the ground. As always, line up the feet and ankles. Put your hands on the ball, pull your transverse abs up against the ball, and just take it into comfortable spinal extension with a breath and with abs to protect the spine. We're not moving into compression. We're moving, I almost want you to think of it like it's lifting you by your head, okay? We're just gonna go till we're 50% because we actually need the erector spinae for the quadratus work. Okay, I'm about 50% fatigued. Placing the hand on the, actually, you know what? I'm just gonna brace with my toes on the mat. Get a good sticky mat. Mine is on my Amazon store. I love this mat. Okay, lift, and then reach back and try to touch the knee. Anybody who's trying to have a tiny waist, you gotta work the back side of the obliques, and you gotta work these quadratus. Okay? Then hold one side, and just do 3 or 4 little lifts. Hold the other side. Do a little lift. And then you can do reverse rotations. Okay. And then stretch. And we'll move it right into a regular fascia blaster with big claws, the Big Daddy, or the fascia blaster. My shoulders are getting more flexible, so I'm just gonna do it with the regular blaster, the original. Tighter on this side, so I'm gonna give that a little attention. Whew. The sweat is hitting the floor. I don't know if you guys can see on camera, but I mean, I'm just like sweating buckets. Let's check heart rate. How awesome is it to barely move and blast and burn this many calories? 300 calories. 300 calories. I wish I could have them all in Chardonnay. Remember, for fat loss, just cut the crap. And consider your workouts aren't a reason to eat. The workouts are the thing that's gonna propel you over the edge with the weight loss, along with all the dieting, with all the tonics and blasting and everything else. All right, let's do abdominals. Again, for nudity's sake, I normally do go all the way to the pubis, but I'm going to do it above my shorts, and I'm gonna do it laying over the ball. So you want to go ahead and just get a little blaster oil on your belly. And then we're gonna, I don't care if you do it up like this, but particularly if you have, some fat left, like me, I still have this bulge in the middle. It's really good to stretch it out. Oops, sorry, see, I'm already showing boob. All right, on the ball, stretched out. And those of you who have belly ring, I really do try to do it above and below and then the sides. Just to prep everybody, okay? So great to have already released my ribs with cupping and blasting. All right, and I'm just gonna take you through a super simple sequence here for our abdominals. You wanna make sure you have your shirt down on the ball so you don't slip off. Looks like I'm in frame. Okay, so what you'll notice, first of all, is people start off like this. You wanna be able to work the rectus abdominis from an extended position. So if you notice, I'm like level over the ball, okay? And we're gonna isolate out the top part of the rectus abdominis, square the feet off, and rest your head in your hands. And we're just gonna lift. So notice I'm coming above the midline and then below the midline. Now look, I'm gonna stabilize my upper body, and then I'm gonna take my lower body below and above the midline. Okay, this is super important. I wish you guys could just feel. My glutes are totally off, and I'm pulling it up by squeezing my pelvic floor together and then contracting below the belly button. My favorite cue is just to pretend like you have a tail and you're gonna stick it in your belly button. Okay, and we're just gonna do a few of those. to fire up the lower rectus. Resting your head in your hands, not cranking on it. Going from extension of the lumbar spine to flexion of the lumbar spine. Most of us don't have a lot of flexion of the lumbar spine. Definitely doing yoga and also blasting has given me a much better range of motion for spinal articulation, which enhances my core training. So that's why I love the whole doing everything from New Year, New You, because it all works together. Then we're gonna do both. So shoulders and butt drop, and then shoulders and butt lift. Woo! Hello, abs. As we used to say in the South, I feel it from the rooter to the tutor. Nice and slow. Inhale here, exhale. Intentionally contract the transverse abs, and then pull all that up. All right, let's just do a teeny bit of oblique. Try to lengthen the spine and hold it up here without doing this. Extend the arms. We're gonna get the lateral flexion action of the front side of the obliques. Of course, the middle ones are stabilizing. Every time you tap your shin, squeeze your pelvic floor. Now we're gonna get the rotational action of the obliques. Okay. Conditioning your body, you guys, is really simple. You just need to know the action of the muscle, concentric and eccentric, and do it. You don't have to be complicated. And then we'll take it out with a little rotation. Whew, I'm glad that my FasciaBlaster is right here because I do not feel like getting up after that. And we are just going to blast it out and we're done. Get that head in a comfortable position. I actually like to hang my head back. Didn't like that when we started because I was compressed. But me and the Master Blaster in my neck have had a good old time together during this program. Who did it with me? Anybody? I'm gonna have those V's again. Where are you at, V's? That's when I talk like that, that's what I hear in my head. That's what I tell myself. Come on, V's. Contract. Come out, wherever you are. All right, big stretch. Oh. All right, everybody, I hope that you enjoyed that. Does anyone have any idea how long it is? It doesn't track it on my side until I turn it off. But what I'm hoping is that you can get a very thorough full body blast, full body activation in a relatively quick amount of time. I honestly would have whipped through that faster, but I was doing some instructions, so You guys save that one, all my motivators. I see you guys in here. Oh, 1:15, perfect. So I really think that you can do that in an hour. So just fast forward through me when I talk too much. But yeah, that's a good one. Please, please share it to all the groups. Please, share it with your friends. All this information is free. I don't ever have any intention of charging for this. I just want you to understand how to, use those tools. And, honestly, if I add up everything that I have here, even the mat and the weights and the ball and everything, this is a couple of $100 for literally a lifetime of being able to have control of your body. So anyway, to all of my people who are, hammering it out for New Year, New You, I am so excited for you, and I just can't wait for the check-ins. The pictures that people have been sending me personally are just unbelievable. I know that this is changing so many lives, and that makes me feel really good. So, living in that purpose. All right, everybody, thank you so much for joining me. I know it's early, and I always appreciate people tuning in. It makes me feel good when I see little hearts. So have a beautiful and blessed Wednesday. And I'll be talking a little bit about meditation later in the meditation groups. I'm going to be doing it tonight. So prior to my guru coming in, I'll take you through what I learned last week. And hopefully you guys are in the meditation group, because I really do believe that the mental centeredness is what makes this whole thing work. So anyway, love you guys a ton. Have a blessed and beautiful day.